Mom and Dad's anniversary. Mom and Dad's anniversary was approaching. But this time, I had a surprise planned for them. Mom and Dad always put in so much effort to make our special days memorable. So this year, I decided to make their special day even more special. Their anniversary was on a weekend, and both Mom and Dad loved traveling to the mountains. The plan was that only I and my younger brother Mintu knew the destination. Everything was a surprise for Mom and Dad. So on Saturday morning, I set out on a family trip with Mom, Dad, and Mintu. I had the location saved on my phone. Dad was driving and I kept guiding him on the way. Mom and Dad tried many times to guess the destination, but I didn't reveal it. After nearly 6 hours of driving, we reached the mountains. We were enjoying our favorite songs in the car when suddenly we saw a tunnel ahead. As soon as our car approached the tunnel, something terrifying happened. Huge rocks fell from the mountain right in front of our car. Dad slammed the brakes hard. A terrible accident was narrowly avoided. After that incident, the entire plan was ruined. All we wanted was to go back home. Dad parked the car on the side for a while, then took a U-turn and started driving back toward Delhi. While returning on the same road, I noticed a signboard. Delhi, 280 kilometers. About 15 minutes later, I saw the same sign again. Delhi, 280 kilometers. I thought maybe I had read it wrong. But after some time, I saw it for the third time. Delhi, 280 kilometers. We kept driving, but the distance on the Delhi sign wasn't reducing at all. I asked Dad to stop the car and tried to explain what was happening. But no one believed me. Everyone was already in a bad mood. So Dad told me to stay quiet and continued driving. A little ahead, we saw a very old woman sitting by the road selling oranges. Mintu loved oranges, so we stopped and bought some from her. Then continued driving. But shortly after, something happened that shocked us all. We saw the same orange-selling woman again. We couldn't understand how this was possible. We were driving on a straight road, so how could we see her again? I checked the maps on my phone. According to the map, our car was standing at the same spot. We thought it might be a network issue, but everything felt extremely strange. Dad stopped the car and got out to look around. Suddenly, someone knocked loudly on our car window. We got scared. I rolled down the window and asked the man who he was. Smiling, he said, "You are going to Delhi. This road leads to a hill village. Take a U-turn." Saying this, the man walked away. Dad did exactly as he said. But after 15 minutes, we ended up at the same place again. Dad stopped the car in frustration. Everyone was terrified now. Suddenly, someone knocked on the window again. Our hair stood on end. When we looked outside, it was the same man who had guided us earlier. Dad angrily got out of the car. The man smiled again and repeated the same words. "You are going to Delhi. This road leads to a hill village. Take a U-turn." Saying this, the man walked away. Dad did exactly as he said. But after 15 minutes, we ended up at the same place again. Dad stopped the car in frustration. Everyone was terrified now. Suddenly, someone knocked on the window again. Our hair stood on end. When we looked outside, it was the same man who had guided us earlier. Dad angrily got out of the car. The man smiled again and repeated the same words. "You are going to Delhi. This road leads to a hill village. Take a U-turn." Before Dad could react, the man vanished right in front of his eyes. We were stunned. Dad ran back to the car and sped away. No matter which direction we drove, we kept coming back to the same place. We were trapped in a loop. We still kept seeing that old woman repeatedly. Dad gathered courage and stopped the car near her, stepping out to ask her about the road. We followed him. Earlier, the woman had been smiling while selling oranges. But now she was silent, staring down. Dad called out to her several times, but she didn't respond. When Dad touched her shoulder, she suddenly jerked her head up. What we saw next is something we will never forget. Half of her jaw was missing, and blood was dripping from her mouth. Dad screamed and told us to get back into the car. He drove off in panic, but the shock was so intense that he soon lost control, and our car crashed into a tree. When I opened my eyes, we were all sitting inside the car again, right in front of the tunnel, where the rocks had fallen earlier. But now there were no rocks, no damage, not even a scratch on the car. We felt that maybe none of it was real. But then Mom noticed a bag full of rotten oranges lying near her seat. We immediately threw the oranges out and somehow drove back to Delhi. We reached home safely, but the fear of that day still lives in our minds. What happened to us and why? It remains a mystery. We are just grateful that we returned alive. Mom and Dad will never forget that anniversary, and neither will Mintu or I. The legend of Krampus. Christmas is considered very special in Christian culture and is celebrated worldwide. One tradition says that children who behave well throughout the year receive gifts from Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. But what about children who don't behave well? This is the story of Sam, an 11-year-old boy living in Toronto, Canada. Sam was very active and excelled in both sports and academics. But this success made him arrogant. He bullied classmates who scored less than him. Complaints were made against him many times. But since he was a bright student, teachers tried to explain things gently. Sam never listened. That year, Sam topped his class again and demanded his favorite action figure for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, Sam decided he wanted to see Santa Claus with his own eyes. After everyone slept, he hid inside a kitchen cabinet facing the Christmas tree. At around 12:30 a.m., he heard bells ringing. Just like Santa's sleigh. Soon he heard something coming down the chimney. But the legs that appeared didn't look human. They looked like an animal's. A horrifying creature emerged. It had horns, a monstrous face, and carried a burning rod. Sam screamed, and the creature noticed him. Sam ran toward his room, screaming for help, but no one heard him. The creature caught him, pinned him down, and pressed the burning rod against his hand. Sam went into convulsions, seeing visions of all the wrong things he had done. The next morning, Sam woke up in the hospital. His family said they found him, unconscious near the fireplace, with a burnt piece of wood beside him. Later, Sam discovered the truth online. The creature was Krampus, the dark counterpart of Santa, who punishes misbehaving children. Sam decided to change his behavior. But one night, Krampus returned, and since then, Sam has never slept peacefully again. Fog. Everyone knows about Delhi's winters, beautiful, yet dangerous due to dense fog. This story is about Yavan and his friends. Tired of pollution, they planned a trip to Himachal and left at 4 a.m. with a cheerful driver. After 4 hours, they encountered an extremely dense fog. The driver turned serious and warned them not to open the windows. They ignored him. When Ria opened the window, the fog entered the car, and suddenly, she found herself alone inside a moving car. Her friends had vanished. Later, reality twisted again. Ria had actually fainted. But soon after, they hit a girl on the road, who turned out to be Ria herself. In the end, all 4 survived, but their lives were never the same. Never open your car window in dense fog. Until dawn, game of death. 4 friends, Jake, Amelia, Theo, and Leah, went hiking on a remote trail in America. They got lost and found an abandoned visitor center to stay overnight. Locals had warned them that whoever stayed there never returned. At exactly 6:45 p.m., strange things began to happen. One by one, horrifying visions appeared. They were attacked, killed, only to wake up again at 6:45 p.m. inside the visitor center. They realized they were trapped in a time loop. Inside one room, they found photos of missing people, including their own, with a date 8 days in the future. Written on the wall were the words, "If you want to live, you have to survive until dawn." If you like this video, please subscribe our channel and wait for next video. Don't turn off light and sleep with one eye open.